We're back. This is Daria, Season 1, Episode 8, Pinch Sitter. We open in a stressful history class where Mr. Lunatic is reminding the students that their term papers on mind control are due Friday with no exceptions. Ah, look who it is in the hallway. The scam goddess herself, Quinn, trying to convince a boy named Ronnie to cover a babysitting shift for her on Saturday night. Ronnie overhears Daria telling Quinn that a boy named Skylar is looking for her, and we realize Skylar and Quinn have a date on Saturday, and that's why she needs the coverage. Ronnie realizes he doesn't have a shot with Quinn and decides that, you know what, your sister looks free all the time, so get her to do it because I'm leaving. That night, we see Quinn trying to convince Daria to take the job. Well, Daria didn't like kids when she was a kid, so I'm afraid it's a no for her. Side note, as a teenager, this is the exact reason I always gave for never taking babysitting jobs. I was not a kid person when I was a kid. So Quinn bumps up pay to $8 an hour and points out Daria can get her homework done and get paid at the same time, and it's basically a win-win. It would also be a good time for Daria to get her term paper done, but she still declines. That's when Helen breezes by and reminds the girls that she expects them home Saturday night for a couples group. Apparently, I guess it's teen night or something, but the girls won't be there. Quinn's got a date, and in this moment, we now see that Daria is officially a babysitter. It's truly a wise choice. I mean, I'd definitely babysit before I spent time with my parents on couples night. That just sounds like a unfun family night, really. Helen is putting away laundry and drops off Quinn's baby tee. Actually, it's less than a baby tee. It's like a baby bib. Anyway, Helen just wants to have a little chat. She says she doesn't appreciate how Quinn is double booking dates and passing off babysitting duties. Last Saturday, she even accidentally had 3 dates show up at the same time. Of course, it felt great to Quinn, but Helen wants her to get it together. And she somehow talks her into a mother-daughter time management session with her specialist, Dina Decker. Later on, the girls are on a call with the Gupties, and the couple is just giving Daria a rundown of their expectations, and they'll see her Saturday. They seem nice, but something is clearly off. We're discussing priorities in the time management session. Helen and Quinn are expected to write them down in a planner, and Quinn hates her planner. It's too ugly. She's got to have that upgraded leatherette version that has a matching lipstick and compact, for an extra fee, of course. Jane's on the phone with Daria trying to strategize about what games to play with the kids to keep them quiet, and all she needs to do is hang in there until 8 o'clock because that's when Jane will get dropped off at the Gupties. And it's time for Quinn's date. And she's already twisted the whole purpose of this planner. Now she's using it to take notes about her dates and their assets. It's babysitting time. Once Daria is inside, a picture of the kids causes her to flash back to ghosts of babysitters past. And as expected, Quinn and Daria terrorized all of them. They even gave this little granny a possible heart attack. The kids come in and the dad keeps referring to them as little monsters, but they're actually very sweet. They're like little tiny shady angels. The parents remind Daria that they don't allow sitters to talk on the phone, but they did make an exception for Quinn since she's required to call and check on their grandma, who doesn't actually exist, by the way. Daria decides she needs some of that phone time too, so she says it's her night to call their non-existent Nana. Anyway, the parents hand over the intense bullet point schedule that they've written out for the kids, and it's also revealed that they're also clients of Dina Decker, which is hilarious. And after they go over the schedule, the Gupties leave. Daria tells the kids to drop the angel act, but it's no act. These two are stressed out about sticking to their schedule and, most importantly, following the rules. They're supposed to be discussing current events. Well, Daria currently has a headache, so they're just gonna sit there quietly and not move. These kids aren't even convinced that Daria and Quinn are sisters. Her hair isn't bouncy enough, and her skin isn't exfoliated enough. I told you they were shady. Daria just needs to pass the time, so she turns on the TV. Except there's a parental control that's set to only show the Weather Channel. That's the only thing these kids usually watch, so they love it. It's their show. Quinn's on her date, still misusing that coral planner. You see she's got on that matching lipstick too. Back to these kids. It's snack time. And they're eating raisins because it's nature's candy, of course. They say sugar is bad. Sugar rots your teeth. Hitler ate sugar.
What?
We see them jumping on the bed and singing along to the only record they own. It's about a tortoise and hair and self-esteem, and it's extremely scratched. But it's their jam. They don't even care. Daria keeps finding a way to have them play cemetery so they don't talk or move, and luckily we find out that Jane is on her way. The girl always brushes Quinn's hair, so now she's brushing Daria's. It was either that or listen to the scratch record sing-along. And the boy is now shining Daria's shoes. Daria wonders if they believe and do everything adults tell them, and of course they do. She also wants to know what they do if two adults told them to do opposite things. And that's too much for their kitty brains, and they freak out. The girl is pissed off and the boy cries. Jane arrives not a moment too soon, and she's got experience from babysitting her sister's kids, so it's going pretty good. They get their jammies on, and it's time for a bedtime story. They look through an assortment of titles such as
Kanisha's First Kwanzaa.
They went with the classic, but they had a 1997 teenager twist. They basically enlighten these kids to what's going on in life and what's happening in the world. And they can't get enough. They think Jane and Daria are super smart, and they can't believe that after all this time, their parents never told them that people can actually think for themselves. They're shocked. These poor little mind-controlled sheep. Daria says she'll probably get an extension on her term paper, so Jane jailbreaks the TV so they can watch what they want. That's when the kids get up for a drink of water, but they see it's TV time and they settle in for some mud wrestling. Daria tells them not to snitch, and they say, "Come on, son, we're not idiots."
They grow up so fast.
These sweet babes have learned so much in a matter of hours. Of course, we see that Quinn's little planner has backfired and all of her secrets are out. Skylar is red enough and he is out. And the Gupties make it home. Everything turned out well. It turns out they were at Daria's house for couples night. Apparently they had a breakthrough and Jake even cried. In history class, it appears that Brittany received a D on her Cult of Abs term paper. She didn't write a single word. The entire paper was just magazine cutouts of six-pack abs. It seems that Daria did excellent on her term paper. She felt inspired, so she ended up writing about her real-life experiment in mind-control deprogramming the Gupty kids. And the last thing we hear is the Gupty kids singing a new tune, and it's a remix of sorts. All thanks to Daria. That's the end of the episode. I loved it. Some favorite highlights were, of course, Daria and Quinn as babies. They were the absolute cutest little babies that you ever did see. Another highlight are the tiny mind control kids constantly roasting Daria, and also them being deprogrammed within a matter of hours. I love it. Anyway, like the video if you like it, and subscribe and share it with your friends. And watch this episode if you haven't already. I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!